and welcome everybody to the 36th Annual Awards Ceremony for Architecture and Perspective. My name is Grice. I am a catalog editor and I'm a past president of ASAI. And I'm here to guide you through tonight's festivities. I hope you've all enjoyed your stay here in Toronto, even though you weren't actually here. Toronto is an amazing city, and I really hope you get a chance to come and visit us sometime soon. I want to thank especially Jose and his fantastic team at PureBlink for putting this whole thing together and creating this incredible virtual environment, which is an amazing feat. And it makes it possible to imagine that you're actually here in the city. I think I'd like to say a word about this, first of all, about the association, which everything you really need to know in short form is contained in the catalog. And I hope that you will order a copy of the catalog. I think there's a hot link somewhere down below me that you can order an advanced copy of the catalog. The thing about the ASAI, the AIP catalogs is that unlike any other architectural illustration association in the world, and there are many, we have made it our task to document the history and the tradition of architectural illustration over the course of time that we've been in existence. So that's 37 years, and there have been amazing changes in those past 37 years. What started off as a small group of illustrators in Boston has grown into an international organization that includes not just professional illustrators, but illustrators of all kinds who focus on architectural illustration. And I think in many ways we've become the clearinghouse for ideas about architectural illustration. Our competition, as I say, has been going on now for 36 years, as the number indicates, and over that course of time there have been some amazing work done. So I hope you'll take the opportunity, if you're able to look back through the catalogs that you may or may not have, and certainly to buy this year's catalog to see what the state of the art is now and going forward. Interestingly enough, we started with one competition, which was a professional rendering competition, but the organization soon grew to include other competitions, so that now we have the professional competition. We also have an observational category for topographical drawings, which we'll explain a little later on. We have a student competition, and this year, for the very first time, we have a thematic competition, which kind of picks up on the idea of what's going on in the world, and especially architectural illustration right now, which is the ability to think about what the future might hold. So it draws on an illustrator's ability to create an environment for him or herself, and then to create a single image that represents that idea of the future. So that's going to come at the end of the ceremony, and you'll see how architectural illustration has advanced amazingly in the past 36 years. I think the one thing that I would say about the organization that we don't put in the catalog is that it's the source of many long-lasting friendships. And so I want to give a shout out to all my friends, old and new, and I hope you'll enjoy the festivities this evening. And now, on with the show. Our first award is the award in the student competition. In 2009, ASAI introduced a student competition in order to encourage students along the lines of representing architecture, but also just in terms of becoming better designers, because it's important for designers and architects to know how to draw, and especially to know how to present their work. So we think that student participation is really important, not just to the life of our organization, but to the life of architecture and architectural representation in general. Student membership is free, and when we started this competition, the entries came in fast and furious. There was hardly any build-up period at all, and now we get entries from students all over the world, several continents, and the work is amazing because not just it's inventive, Students use techniques and they create ideas that are always mind-blowing. So we look forward to our student entries a great deal, and I hope you'll enjoy seeing them. To present this year's Best of Show in the student competition, I'd like to introduce you to Keely Kalklo. Keely is founder of Kilograph Studios in Los Angeles. She's a former president of ASAI, and she was a juror in this year's student competition. So I'd like to take you now to Los Angeles and to Keely Kalklo.
Hi everyone. Thank you so much, Gordon, for the introduction. I'm super excited to be here and really excited to present the award for the Student Award of Excellence this year. And the award this year goes to a really wonderful piece by a student from Italy, from the MADI, the UAV in Venice. His name is Alessio Amato. Alessio, congratulations. I really enjoyed your piece on the Stazione Monte Santo, sorry for my Italian, in Naples, and I really enjoyed your reference to photography, the photographer Julian Lanu. I'm familiar with his photography, but I took this opportunity to take another look and do a bit of kind of Googling about Julian Lanu, and I found this awesome quote that I thought really spoke to what we're about here at the ASAI, and something that hopefully speaks to all of us architectural visualization artists, that Julian Lanu's work is defined by the never-ending search for the intricate relationship between the human being and his surroundings. So that was, I thought, really poignant and a really lovely reference. I particularly enjoyed the way you used shadow and perspective and really captured the feeling that you have in the morning waiting for a train or just arriving at the train station. That was very well captured by lighting and by the entire atmosphere of the image. So well deserved, and congratulations, and enjoy the fruits of your labors. Thank you so much.
The image represents the Monte Santo metro station in Naples, designed by Silvio d'Arche Architecture. The image taken inspiration from a photo by the famous architectural photographer Julian Lanu, which shows the station itself in a moody atmosphere. The intention was to create an atmospheric image consisting of two fundamental components, architecture and light. The light enters the station in a soft way, flooding the entire platform with a strong heat that contrasts with the much darker and colder shaded side. The process of creating the image was very simple. The first phase consisted in the creation of the 3D model on 3ds Max. Then, for the shading and processing the image, it was used the Corona render. Finally, Photoshop for post-production was used for color grading and for the inclusion of activities.
Keely, thank you for those words about Alessio's drawing, which, as you point out, is a truly remarkable drawing. And with that, we come to an end of the student competition. When ASAI started out 37 years ago or more, it was essentially an association for professional illustrators, and that is still the mainstay of the society. But about 10 years ago, we decided that it would be a good idea to expand the entries to include observational drawing. Now, what's observational drawing? Observational drawing is topographical drawing that illustrates something that entirely exists at the time you draw it. So it's different from rendering, which is drawing something that does not exist when you draw it. There was a lot of discussion about this because professional rendering is really what we're all about. But then we noticed that a lot of architects, illustrators, and even students do a lot of observational drawing just to learn more about architecture and to learn more about drawing technique. And so initially it was tentative, but it turned out to be a great idea. So now observational drawing is part of the show, and the drawings that we've received in the past 10 years have been truly amazing. And I think you'll see that when you see the selections. And now, to present the best of show in the observational section, I'd like to introduce a friend of mine, Jon Soules. Jon is a Toronto architect and a very fine watercolorist, and he is also a former president of ASAI. So, to present the award to this year's Best of Show, here's Jon Soules.
Thank you, Gordon, for the introduction. While the rendering category recognizes work that illustrates imagined or non-existent projects, the observational category focuses on subjects that exist. There's a growing interest in urban sketching and drawing or painting on plein air. Observational works may include digital illustration. They may employ photographic elements or montage. This year's winner of the observational category, Best of Show, is Christopher Grice. His winning entry is a hand-drawn view of an excavation where underground service lines are being installed. As described, you might ask, how's that an artistic subject? The drawing is a wonderful composition of line, light, and shadow. It is an abstract composition with movement and fighting visual balances, not unlike a composition by the Russian artist L. Lizhitsky. While the drawing describes the chaos of a construction site, the craftsmanship and beauty of the drawing itself is masterful. dark trenches, piles of earth, cast-off plywood sheets and tarps, perimeter boundaries made of thin posts and forensic tape, and the cranky path of underground pipe captures our attention and challenges our understanding of art.
I'd like to thank the ASAI for this terrific award, a very important one to me, because as an architectural illustrator, a good one, I got to be a better one by observing the world around me and then recording it in such a way that I could tell a really good story to other people. This really pleases me. Thank you very much. And congratulations to the other winners and definitely all the participants in this particularly really good show.
Congratulations, Chris, on winning this award, but also in a lifetime of incredible drawings. I think we all owe you a debt of gratitude for that. So with that, I think we'd like to close the observational category. Now we're going to move on to the rendering category. Rendering is, as I say, the mainstay of ASAI and has always been the thing that formed the core of our membership. About 37 years ago in Boston, three friends got together and they wondered if there was any point in forming an association for professional renderers. Well, it turned out there was a point, and two of those founders, Steve Oles and Frank Costantino, have stuck with us for the duration, all 37 years, and remain professional renderers, as do many of us. So the professional rendering category is really what not just holds our membership together, but it's also, I think, what attracts our audience. It helps us to gain clients, but the idea of an international rendering association has spread all over the world. And so we now have affiliations with societies in Asia and Australia and various other associations in North America that deal with the issue of architectural illustration. Interestingly, our focus has always been on the quality of the work rather than the technique of the work. And so, alone amongst other associations, we place a great value on traditional work as well as cutting-edge work. So as we move into looking at the renderings, I think you'll notice that there's an exceptional variety, and not just in technique, but also in subject matter, in reason for drawing. We have fantasy drawings there, we have client commission drawings. But altogether, it's a remarkable collection of architectural renderings, and so I hope you enjoy the images that you're about to see. Rendering takes many forms, and a lot of people in the world are familiar with finished renderings. Most often these days, digital renderings, high resolution. But there's also another kind of rendering, which is the kind that you do on the back of a napkin, for example. It's called a sketch. And originally, when the rendering competition was introduced, people were reluctant to submit sketches because what chance did they have against a finished rendering? For that reason, we decided we would open another category, and only sketches would be part of that category. And so that is the informal category in the rendering competition. To present this year's informal award, I'd like to introduce you to Steve Soules. Steve Soules is one of our founders and one of the great architectural illustrators of this or any age. He's the person who got me started in the business, and I know he started many other people in the business, and he's still a fantastic illustrator. So I would like, without any further delay, to take you to New Mexico and to Steve Soules.
First, I'd like to thank Gordon Grice for his superlative shepherding of the awards ceremony. Nobody does it better than Gordo. As a co-founder of the Society, it's natural that I would have an extremely supportive and proprietary view of the entire award series. The Hugh Ferris Award was originally instituted, of course, to promote excellence in the field of architectural drawings generally, but the later specialty awards, such as the informal category, enhanced that intention by rewarding superlative work other than commissioned or finished pieces. This year's winning drawing by Wilson Dale Mampo is a stunningly original and powerful composition of study images as well as a resulting final thumbnail drawing that could easily have won an award on its own. Dale Mampo's handling of the ideation sketches is masterful in terms of sheet composition and the use of graphic devices such as partial cropping, reminiscent of Wright and his favorite illustrator Marion Mahoney. The variable station point studies remind one of Gordon Cullen's wonderful urban sequences, but for me, the most powerful evocation is of the work of my personal hero, David Roberts, the famous 19th century painter and illustrator of the Holy Land. Dale Mampo's final thumbnail, as mentioned, recalls some of Roberts' most powerful work, utilizing graphic devices such as low station point, dramatic scale depiction through the use of diminutive foreground figures, and judiciously applied atmospheric perspective. Here are comparative examples of the work of two highly accomplished artists, one from the 19th century, the other from the 21st. Congratulations to Wilson Dale Mampo and his firm, Wilson D. Design International, for an astonishing work, richly deserving of the AIP 36 Informal Category Award.
Hello, fellow ASAI friends. My name is Wilson D. Mampo, together with my wife Pauline, greeting you from our home base here in Southern California on this month of October 2021. First of all, I'd like to thank the members of the AIP 36 jury for choosing one of my drawings for the top award in the informal category. It is such an honor, and my wife and I and my family are very happy and grateful for this recognition. The sketch is a preliminary design study for the Lost City of Gold competition by world-renowned hospitality firm WATG. It is fun imagining a future oasis in the desert where surprise and delight awaits guests as they enter the Gate of Dreams. We miss seeing you all in person, but looking forward to future ASAI conventions when this pandemic is behind us all. Thank you again, and stay safe, everyone.
Wilson, congratulations for that amazing and very unusual drawing. Now I'd like to move on to the rendering category, which is, as I say, where ASAI started all those years ago. The change in the renderings over the last almost 4 decades is amazing, and I think you'll see that in this year's winner. The rendering category is intended, as ever, to honor drawings that are formally done, that are pursued with a focus technique, and very often are done in the course of professional architectural illustration. So a lot of them are done for clients, but you'll find very often that the drawings have been done just to develop technique, or they've been done as an imaginary, just to develop some ideas. And I think one of the things we've noticed over the years is that there have been more and more imaginative drawings submitted in the rendering category than ever before. To present this year's formal award in the rendering competition, I'd like to introduce you to Pedro Fernandez. Pedro was a juror in this year's competition. He's the founder of Archi9 in London, and he's also a two-time winner of CG Architect Award. So now I'd like to take you to London, England, and Pedro Fernandez.
Thank you very much, Gordo, for the introduction. I think it was amazing to be a juror this year and to really see this confluence of where digital art meets traditional art, and just what that represents for our field and for architectural visualization. I think it was very enlightening to see all of that, and it kind of really inspired me with a lot of elements that we could potentially add to our very own creations. In regards to the formal category, what we were looking at was composition, looking at colors, tone, story, and just what the actual image said to us and what it meant to us on a first impression and then a deeper impression. So in this formal category, we were looking at essentially the basis of what makes a great image, right? And what that image as well, what it spoke to us. So elements like storytelling, composition, color harmonies, and general execution, of course, and the quality of the execution. And the winner of this year's formal award goes to, and I hope I'm saying this correctly, Wada Kuhaita. So what really spoke to us in this image, I think, was a lot of the qualities that it had as a storytelling piece, this duality between outer world and submerged world, and not really knowing where you're located. I think there's a really interesting play as well on scale and the elements, and using elements like holographs, etc., to really bring that interest and draw the eye. And at the same time, it had a really beautiful execution and beautiful composition, and the color harmonies were spot on. So I think it's really valid and really deserving of this award.
Hello everyone, my name is Koheta Wada. I can't believe that I'm receiving such a wonderful prize. I would like to thank all members of Nikken Sekkei's team who supported me. I hope I'm here again next year. Thank you.
Congratulations, Koheta Wada, for that excellent drawing. Our next category is Members' Choice. A Members' Choice category has been around now, I think, for 15 years, maybe a little more, and it's probably the most coveted category because it's where illustrators get to choose their favorite illustrator. Here to present the award is our Executive Director, Tina Bryant. Tina has been a member of ASAI since, I think, the very late 90s, and she has been a stalwart in the organization, doing everything that needs to be done, and with, I hope, enough praise, but probably not enough money. So Tina, take it away.
Thank you for the honor of announcing this year's Members' Choice Award. The Members' Choice Award is a unique award in which the members of ASAI choose their favorite image from among the entries of the current Architecture in Perspective competition. For 3.5 decades, this artist has not only been selected for nearly every Architecture in Perspective exhibition, but he is a past ASAI board president, and he has received the coveted Hugh Ferris Memorial Prize twice. This year, the Members' Choice Award goes to the Architect of Light, Thomas Schaller, for the image Tree Houses Without Trees. In Tom's own words, the imagined urban space from an unspecified future. The image is a meditation on connection and isolation. This narrative has resonated in the ongoing changes we currently face. In this exceptional image, a monotone palette of the structures, are connected by bridges with an ethereal atmosphere. There are bright pops of colors in the windows and a lone figure in red crossing a bridge to an unknown space. There are many interpretations we could gather from this image, but perhaps the connection of bridges is a vision of hope for the individual. Congratulations, Tom.
Hey everybody, this is Tom Schaller, and I just heard that I was a winner in AIP 36 of the Members' Choice Award. Wow, that is a huge honor and a big thrill to get the respect of your peers, especially when you've been at it as long as I have, means a great deal. So thank you so much. I can't wait to see you all again down the road, and talk to you soon.
Tom, congratulations on your win. That's an incredible illustration, and it's going to an incredible guy. So congratulations again. The next award is the biggest award that ASAI presents, and it's named in honor of one of North America's founding architectural illustrators, Hugh Ferris of New York City. I could tell you a lot about this, but I think you should probably hear it from our next presenter, who is one of our founders, Frank Costantino, and he is our unofficial and even official historian, and he will make the award of the Hugh Ferris Award. So Frank, over there in Boston, over to you.
My thanks to Gordon Grice of Toronto, our president in 1992 for AIP 7, my very dear friend, and our first international board member for his introduction. The ASAI AIP Hugh Ferris Memorial Prize was first introduced to the Society in 1987 after the success of our first competition exhibition, and was displayed in Boston in October 1986. ASAI and with AIP 36 will now have had 37 Ferris winners, which are inclusive of 2 Best of Show winners in 1986 and 5 double Ferris winners. This year, the winner will be the 8th international member chosen for our Society's distinctive award. For this 37th Hugh Ferris Memorial Prize, I am pleased to announce the top entry from an international member who has won 3 previous AIP awards, and with only the 5th interior drawing, and illustrated by this first winner from Vietnam, who is Vic Nguyen and Tan Le from the city of Da Nang, and the 11-person firm of Vic Nguyen Architectural Design and 3D Visualization for their evocative piece, Living Room. The jury recalled their impressions of this extraordinary piece by Vic and Tan Le, describing it this way: the quality of light for this rendering was fashioned as a great drama. The dark color palette of the design was massively balanced with a single exterior source lighting in the room. The natural light set in the background, just off center with a secondary spill from an adjacent reflective surface, diffuses its way toward the viewer. But this diminishing value movement aids the viewing experience of vast amounts of subtle, deliberate furnishings and surface detailing throughout the space. My own impressions of these skillful illustrators who have artfully, conservatively, if not eclectically conceived, designed, and decorated this empty room with no artificial lighting, but just the sunlight and the brilliant green vegetation beckoning from the window. They had also chosen not to include figures, but clearly a human presence is suggested by the fresh sunflowers, a la Van Gogh perhaps, and the rumpled sheet music on the piano, as well as the offset, subtle fireside glow in the foreground. To continue with the jurors' comments, what at first seems like gloom, why doesn't somebody just turn on that chandelier? Turns out instead to convey a quiet hopefulness. Following the dim light patches in the foreground, from the furniture to the notebook on the coffee table, to the odd container on the chair, to the pool of light on the floor, the piano bench and the rogue bonsai tree, to the anguished bust highlighted by the bright wall, they all finally bring the viewer to the brilliant outdoors. It does seem like a torturous visual route, but as juror Dennis Allain points out, the superb composition lets us savor the many details we might otherwise miss. Given a year and a half of worldwide pandemic restrictions, perhaps these artists have aesthetically imagined and invested themselves in this unusual image. All too many of us were stuck indoors, and if lucky, happened to be in a homey environment, but also longing for some light at the end of the confining tunnel, such as this beaming, beckoning natural light spilling through a window conveys. And not to put too fine a point on it, this evocative drawing, the visual drama of any storytelling illustration, may also remind us that within our own environs we may have also recently learned to save us such small details that otherwise during pre-COVID times we have routinely ignored. This remarkable piece, rising through many viewing rounds from among the hundreds of worldwide entries to the Society's AIP competition, isn't just an image of a room. This living room interior is a small, well-crafted, superbly delineated voyage into dim space and an image that involves and engages all of us. So, on behalf of the co-founders, officers, board, and members of our society, it gives me the greatest pleasure to award ASAI's AIP 36 Ferris Prize to Vic Nguyen and Tan Lee. We could only hope that the actual framed prize could be personally delivered to Vietnam by myself, or by my co-founder Steve Soules, or ASAI President Jose Uribe, or another board member. But soon, Vic and his team will have the enduring memento of this Hugh Ferris Memorial Prize to enjoy and cherish for a very long time. All our congratulations from the Society.
Congratulations to the winners of this year's Ferris for a truly, truly amazing drawing. And that draws to a close the professional portion of the awards. This brings us to our final competition, which is a new competition for this year, and it's the brainchild of our president, Jose Uribe. It's a thematic competition, which means that the illustrator is not just drawing something, but is actually inventing something in order to draw, in order to tell a story that relates to the theme. This year's theme is Future Reimagined, and we've all been through almost 2 years of giving ourselves plenty of time to think about what our future might consist of. So we've asked our illustrators to think about what the future might consist of, and in a single image to represent that future in terms of an architectural environment. For this competition, we involved all 6 jurors, the 3 jurors from the professional competition and the 3 jurors from the student competition, so that 6 people were looking at these drawings. In a moment, you're going to see the results of that competition, but I would like to say that the results of the submissions are truly astounding, and I think this is something that we'll want to pursue year after year. So, here are the winners. To present the award for the Best of Show in the thematic competition this year, I'd like to introduce you to Dennis Elaine. Dennis Elaine was a juror in this year's competition. He is in addition a 2-time winner of the Ferris Prize and a 3-time winner of the Members' Choice Award. Dennis is no stranger to Future Reimagined, as can be seen in the illustrations that he has consistently submitted to our competition year after year. It takes me great pleasure to take you all the way to Linwood, Mass, and introduce you to Dennis Elaine.
Thank you, Gordo, for that great introduction. I certainly appreciate it. The Future Reimagined Award was an idea that Jose Uribe had. As you may or may not know, he is this year's ASAA president and is also the recipient of the Hugh Ferris Award. And his thinking was that there needed to be a new category introduced in our international competition. He felt that we were lacking recognition for those talented artists who see the future, almost predict the future, visualize what could be, and having foresight and having forward thinking was sort of a talent that we hadn't really taken into account over the years in our competition. And through his leadership and through the ASAA members, board members, this came to be. And it seemed to be a very important category, especially given the events of 2020. And I was privileged to be part of a jury of 6. This jury was selected from all over the world, all different types of mediums and disciplines that comprised all these folks that came together, who were really just a joy to work with. And they brought a real wide range of ability and expertise to the jurying pool. This year's selection was certainly no stranger to the ASAI. He has been doing his thing now for decades and is a tremendous artist and illustrator and talent. For me personally, he was an influential person in my artistic life. He influenced my work, and in so many ways was the reason why I got into the profession in the first place. It is just a tremendous talent that I can't thank enough for his contributions to my professional life, even when he didn't really realize he was doing that. Just really look up to him. And he's got many accomplishments. Can't name them all now, but just to name a few. 2 Hugh Ferris Award prizes in his name. He's also the Abu Rawis Masters Award winner. He is a finalist in the Lynx Prize and also a Graham Fund grant recipient, just to name a few. He's also been published many times and has also been exhibited all over the world many times. Galleries, museums, exhibits the world over. He has graced those venues with his beautiful works of art. So, I am very humbled and honored to be able to announce this year's Future Reimagined 2021 award recipient as none other than Tom S.W. Schaller. Tom Schaller is this year's winner. Congratulations, Tom. His piece, Tree Houses Without Trees, was immediately captivated all the jurors. Sense of color, the way he played with light was truly stunning. The narration of the piece, what it was sort of communicating as a story or as an idea, really seemed to resonate with all the jurors and really resonated with this idea of what the Future Reimagined is or could be. And I think it really struck a note with everybody who saw the image. It was just fabulous. And it was, again, it was unanimous by all of us. We all thought it was really terrific. And again, congratulations, Tom Schaller, for this year's award winner, being the winner. I just want to take a moment to thank all the jurors that I collaborated with. Terrific group. I really thoroughly enjoyed working with you all and also sort of getting to know some of you, which was really fun. Also want to thank the ASIA board for all their contributions this year, both with the competition as well as the conference. And of course, this year's President Jose Uribe, who was absolutely instrumental in getting all this together, the whole competition, not just this category, but also all his efforts, tireless efforts throughout the year for the competition as well as the conference itself. Definitely it was a bit of a privilege to work with you all. And with that, we did get to connect with Tom just a few short hours ago to give him the news live. And so why don't we take it on over to him to see what he had to say upon finding out that he was this year's winner.
No. Really? Yes. That's incredible. I mean, for me, it's better than the Hugh Ferris because it's the theme that I love the most, and I have loved it since 1985. So, thank you. My God. I only have to say that your vision is what counts. What medium you use doesn't matter. It's all about ideas. The way we present our ideas is what makes us different and makes us stand out. But what brings us together is a shared vision of not drawing what is, but drawing what could be. And that's what's always inspired me and still does. So, wow, what a freaking honor. I'm blown away. So, thank you. And and it never gets old. It's always, every day is exciting as the day before. And I'm always looking forward to tomorrow. So it's perfect. It's a perfect day. Thank you.
Congratulations, Tom, on a well-deserved award. The drawing that you did is absolutely fantastic, and it talks about a future that maybe isn't so bad. It's a beautiful drawing, and here's a fun fact. Another first for this year's competition is that Tom entered only 2 images into the competition, yet appears 3 times in the catalog. So make sure you buy a catalog so that you can see how that was accomplished. And with that award, that brings us to the end of the ceremonies. I hope you've enjoyed your time here in Toronto, even though you weren't actually here. I can tell you it was fantastic having you here. And I hope that the next time I speak to you, I can speak to you in actual person. But meanwhile, enjoy the rest of your stay in this fantastic city, and I will see you in a year's time.